his aviators on. He's like, gotta see the Jersey girl sing. And I just peed my pants. And there it is. Yeah, I was losing my mind.
Andrew Lloyd Webber once experimented with something similar in his Broadway production of Sunset Boulevard. In that staging, one of the main actors actually leaves the theater during the second act and walks straight down 44th Street in Times Square as part of the performance. At first, audiences were shocked, but soon frustration set in. Many ticket holders argued that they paid premium prices to see a fully staged, indoor Broadway show, yet one of its most important moments took place outside, where they couldn't physically follow the actor. Even after the production installed a live video feed from the balcony to broadcast the scene to the audience inside, people still felt cheated. They weren't paying for a screen, they were paying for a live theatrical moment. This same debate has resurfaced with Rachel Zegler's now infamous balcony stunt in Evita. Her decision to perform the show's most iconic ballad outside the theater has created a storm of confusion, anger, and disappointment. The moment quickly went viral, but not in the way producers might have hoped. Fans took to social media to express frustration, noting that they paid to see the legendary Don't Cry For Me, Argentina performed on stage, not as a publicity spectacle for random passers-by. Promoters, desperate to calm the backlash, reportedly slashed ticket prices, with some seats being handed out for almost nothing. What was supposed to be a bold artistic flourish has instead turned into a PR nightmare, complete with criticism, mockery, and even early murmurs of potential lawsuits from upset ticket holders. This situation has escalated so rapidly that it's now raising bigger questions about respect for audiences and the future of immersive theater. Was this an experiment that could have worked if handled differently? Or was it simply a tone-deaf move that undermined the integrity of a beloved musical? For many, Zegler's choice feels less like creative innovation and more like a breach of trust between performer and audience, especially when the musical in question has decades of tradition behind it. Before we go deeper, I have a small request. If you're enjoying this content, please take a second to like the video and subscribe. Over 98% of viewers watch without subscribing, yet even a quick click helps the channel grow and ensures you won't miss future updates. If you've already subscribed just now, thank you so much, I truly appreciate it. Now, back to the story. During the West End previews of Evita, Zegler shocked audiences by stepping outside the theatre mid-show to perform Don't Cry For Me, Argentina for random Londoners who happened to be strolling by. Those inside the theatre had no choice but to watch the moment on a balcony-mounted screen, transforming what should have been a powerful, intimate musical climax into something that felt more like an outdoor publicity stunt. At last night's official opening, crowds gathered both outside and inside the venue, creating a chaotic spectacle that some people loved for its novelty, but many more criticized as disrespectful and gimmicky. That's exactly what happened when Rachel Zegler decided to step out onto a balcony mid-performance and serenade the street with Don't Cry For Me Argentina during Evita. And let's just say the audience, both inside the theater and the confused crowd outside, had plenty to cry about. Her sudden outdoor stunt didn't exactly read as artistic brilliance. People who paid top dollar for front row seats found themselves staring at an empty stage while Rachel waved and belted the show's most iconic number to baffled pedestrians who hadn't even purchased a ticket. One attendee even described it as the strangest theater experience of their entire life. In the middle of the chaos, Rachel's own words echoed ironically, "To everyone who hates when I win." The winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. She went on about how, despite her flaws and cracks, people continue to show up for her at every premiere and event. But on this particular night, fans stood outside unsure whether they were witnessing high-concept art or an accidental flash mob. Meanwhile, the audience inside the actual theater had no clue what was going on. The vibe reportedly shifted from confused murmurs to full-blown frustration once it became obvious that half the room was missing the performance they paid for. The backlash was instant and absolutely unforgiving. Social media erupted the moment clips of Rachel Zegler's balcony stunt began circulating, with many users calling the choice not just misguided but outright disrespectful to the audience who paid to see a live performance. Critics piled on as well, describing the moment as tone-deaf and even insulting to anyone who cares about the integrity of theater. The situation became such a mess that, according to frustrated attendees online, promoters were eventually scrambling to fill seats and resorted to giving some tickets away just to keep the house from looking empty. Free seats for a lead actress who had literally stepped off the stage, that detail alone became its own meme. But the moment that really sent everything spiraling was what reportedly happened next. Midway through the show, Rachel allegedly bowed out of the performance entirely and passed the role of Eva to her understudy, Bella Brown. Bella, by multiple accounts, had to step in and finish what many were already calling a chaotic, disastrous night, making her the unexpected hero of the evening while simultaneously fueling the growing narrative that Rachel's behavior was unprofessional. The entire ordeal now sits at the center of an increasingly messy legal dispute, with various claims circulating about what actually unfolded backstage. And the drama doesn't end there. For Rachel, this isn't just about a rough night at the theater, it's about her entire career hitting a sudden, severe turbulence. Commentators online have been ruthless, calling this string of events the worst week of her professional life. Some critics argue she carries herself like a victim despite being the face of a major Disney project, and they claim that mindset has turned audiences against her. Others point to the disappointing box office performance of Snow White. Reports say it opened below even Disney's previous underperformer Dumbo, as proof that something has gone seriously wrong with her public perception.
This is my office. Usually I do it in the closet, but...
And the most frustrating part, according to many of her critics online, is the way Rachel seemed to brush off the backlash as if she was still being unfairly targeted rather than acknowledging how privileged her position actually is. Commentators argued that someone starring in a massive studio film should be happy, gracious, and focused, yet she often came across, rightly or wrongly, as defensive and combative. Instead of staying apolitical or positive, her comments and responses only added fuel to the fire. Then came the legal storm. Filed shortly after the infamous Evita performance, the claims reportedly focus on what insiders describe as her unstage behavior, specifically, what she did not do. While the details remain sealed and unconfirmed, industry chatter suggests this wasn't just a simple PR mishap. The controversy appears tied to contracts, obligations, and the anger of ticket buyers who felt they didn't get the show they paid for, leaving the production's image in a state of disarray. And the balcony stunt wasn't even the conclusion of that chaotic night. When Rachel bowed out mid-performance and her understudy had to carry the rest of the show, legal teams, again, according to circulating rumors, saw an opening and pounced. What should have been a rising star's triumphant moment turned into a legal headache and a PR wildfire. But the fallout didn't stay contained to Evita. The controversy dragged her entire public image into the spotlight at the worst possible time. Writers' discourse around the upcoming Snow White remake was reaching a boiling point. According to various Hollywood insiders and commentators online, the studio was already worried about the film's reception, and some claim Rachel would be the one blamed if it failed to connect with audiences. The movie hasn't even been released yet it's already seen more negative press than excitement. Some of that criticism was fueled by Rachel herself. Old clips resurfaced where she called the original Snow White outdated and joked about the new version portraying the princess as a girl-boss dictator. Loyal Disney fans, who wanted a nostalgic and faithful adaptation, saw these comments as dismissive, and the backlash intensified. Now, some corners of the industry have gone so far as to label Rachel box office poison, at least according to the harsher commentators who've been following the situation. A few alleged insiders even claim the smartest thing she could do right now is step out of the spotlight entirely and let time do what Hollywood does best, forget. In their view, if she disappears for a while, the noise might fade, the outrage cycle might reset, and audiences might eventually move on. But can Rachel actually pull that off? Silence has never been her strong suit. With a track record of outspoken interviews, controversial soundbites, and social media explosions that turn into trending topics overnight, staying quiet might end up being the most challenging performance she's ever attempted.